What's up, everybody? Welcome to Christian Men Unfiltered. Hi, my name is Robert.
Listen, and I'm Pastor Moore. Listen, you're tuned in. We're going to talk about real struggles, real faith, real men.
Coming up next, right here on Christian Men Unfiltered. And we're back. Welcome back.
Yeah. Welcome.
DJ.
Yes, sir.
You ready for this show?
You know, I was born ready when I came out of the Baptist Hospital in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
ready.
okay. How your week been, Pastor? How you been doing?
It's been a great week. It's been a great week, and I had a good workout today, and I'm excited to be on the podcast today. Listen, you got me out of my normal. I'm energetic, moving around, jumping around the pulpit, saving souls, but I'm sitting down, stationary. But
and if you haven't looked at our first podcast, if you haven't heard it, you haven't looked at it, go to Christian Men Unfiltered. It's on Apple, it's on Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Check it out. Like, follow us, share this podcast video, and we'd be more than happy to acknowledge you or answer your questions if you leave comments. So just feel free to join the conversation. So today's topic, we're going to be talking about navigating difficult relationships as Christian men. And we're coming from Matthew chapter 5, verse 44. Let's read that real quick. I'm coming from the ESV. So Matthew chapter 5, verse 44 says this. This is Jesus speaking. This is his whole Sermon on the Mount thing. And he says this, "But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven." DJ, Pastor Moore.
Yes.
How do we love our enemies, man?
Truly, how we love our enemies is, realizing the character trait that Christ had. Because, nowhere around it, we're going to have enemies. No matter what job you work, sad to say, no matter what church you go to, you might have some enemies. You might even have them in your family. You just never know. And so, but you have to exemplify the same character trait that Jesus exemplified. The Pharisees didn't like him, but he kept pressing forward anyway. And it came a point in time where he had to even answer them. They would question him so many times. And so he would have to give them answers. But there's a passage that Jesus talks about, be angry but sin not. And so, but he had a conversation with them, but you kind of have to, love them at a distance, because people come from all kind of walks of life. They experience so many things. Some people have been hurt, and so their natural character trait is going to be that of an attitude, that of, non-conforming. And so you just have to, somehow or another, piece by piece, shed light on them, and just really let them know that you're not there to, to demean them. You're not there to, talk about them. You're not there to, do anything to, diminish their growth or anything like that, but you're simply there because, or you're simply stating something to them because of, you truly want them to, be a better person, or you just maybe even have to work with this person that's difficult. And so, you just have to kind of suck it up sometimes, and you're doing it for the greater good, because the Lord, the one that blessed you with the job anyway. And so if he blessed us, he's going to test us.
If he bless us, he's going to test us. I like that. But now all that sounds great. I want the CD, man. I want you to put all that on the CD. I want to bump that in the car. But when you're dealing with someone who's really close to you, I'm talking about like somebody that may be your family, like your brother, your sister. It may be someone, part of your church family, someone that you spend time with to break bread with you. and this person is becoming so difficult to deal with that they are almost acting like they're an enemy, like they're
Yeah.
not for you.
Yeah.
But you see them all the time. See, there's people that, if I go to Walmart or something like that, and someone, you know how you go to you go to Walmart and you might see that parking spot that, you're gonna pull up, maybe bag into it, but someone else sees it and they hurry up and speed in. You ever had somebody do you like that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so I
Daily.
maybe get angry. Now that's somebody that's not acting like they're for me, but that's a moment.
Yeah.
See, I could decide to park on the other side of the parking lot, right? But
You-
man, when
listen.
it's your daddy, when it's your,
Come on
when
now.
it's your brother, when it's your sister, when it's your cousin, or someone that you sit next to in the pew, when it's that person, how does all of that apply? How does this Christian character and exemplifying Jesus, how do all that apply?
You really have to just give that person to the Lord. I'm gonna be we talking real struggles, real faith, real men. So
Right.
I'm gonna be a little transparent. So here at Generations, two individuals, our landlord and the person that was next to us. Start with our landlord. The landlord started off amazing. There's some rocky months that we had because it just had issues with the church building. One particular Wednesday night, literally the church caught on fire. Literally, it caught on fire. My daughter,
Wow.
she's 4, so she still remembers it. But literally, there were some challenges that he and I had, the landlord had, and the church knew the frustration that I had. So we're still, trying to go to this on my behalf, going to this, landlord, in love. And so they knew the frustration. And so this went on for some months, and it wasn't like he was not there in the vicinity of the, where the church is. So I would see him literally every day. And so, but literally what I did was I said, God, I'm just going to give you this person. I know I'm going to have to see him at least 2 or 3 times a week. I know we've got to pay him, the mortgage for the building and all those things. But Lord, I'm just going to give this person to you. I'm going to do the best that I can. I'm going to, make sure that I get my attitude in line, make sure I'm right before I even, step foot towards this building or this, walk towards this man. But that's really where you have to really start at that's what we're supposed to do with all of our troubles and our trials. And so it doesn't stop when it comes to people. And I'm no expert in it, and I'm still struggling, not all the time, but I still struggle, and we all still struggle with difficult people. But, one way to combat it is just to literally, and it's not, it's not just saying the cliche thing, well, I just gave it over to the Lord. No, you've got to pray about it. You've got to pray about it because, like you said, you're going to see these people day in and day out, and you need tools just the same way that we need tools to, combat the devil and his evil schemes and his forces and the army that he has here. We need tools to be able to combat, dealing with difficult people.
Right. Also, I think I want to say that this love your enemies, this is not talking about how you feel about them.
Mm-mm.
This is an enemy. This is someone who is not in your corner. This is a person that is strategically working or acting against your best interest. That is good, right?
Yes.
So to love your enemy doesn't mean that I have to feel a certain way about you. It doesn't mean I like you. An example of in Exodus chapter 23, verse 4, and I think this is relevant to this conversation, is relevant to what you just said as well. When you start talking about how you're going to change your attitude, right? You're going to change your attitude because you still got to pay this person money. You still got to have some type of relationship. And so in Exodus chapter 23, verse 4, it says this: if you meet your enemy's ox or his donkey going astray,
my Lord,
you should bring him back to him. Now, in theology, we call this common grace.
Yes.
Or we call this common mercy. This is not justice. Justice implies that I owe this person something. If your donkey is wandering off and I see it, I don't owe you to go get it, right? I don't owe you anything. But as a mercy, I'm going to go and retrieve that a straying animal and bring it back to your farm. Why? Because I know how valuable that is, and I know how valuable that is to you. And we are in a community, and we have to work together. I don't like you. I might not even like your donkey, but but it belongs to you, and I know it's valuable to you, and I'm going to bring it back to you. And normally what happened, you may not like me either. You see me, like, you might even ask why I'm with it. I explained to you what I saw. I'm bringing it back to you. And I think that Jesus is saying that this common grace idea comes from the fact that God says he lets his sun shine on the just as well as the unjust. Right? Yes. It is common grace. It is God's standard to keep stability in the world. And so when you decide that, hey, this landlord or this, somebody is kind of working against me, we don't have the best of relationship, but I'm not going to be the one that's going to destabilize it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be cordial with you. I'm going to keep a distance with you. I'm going to pay you your money.
Yes.
And we're going to keep it pushing. We're going to keep it moving. I'm going to do what I said that I'm going to do. That doesn't mean I like you. That means that we have to work together because you have something that I want and I have something that you want. You agree with that, or what's your follow-up comments about that?
Yeah. And then to even more elaborate on the story, just with the landlord in particular, once I honestly gave the landlord to the Lord, you know what I mean? Because, there's a lot of things that happened. We had a fire that was on his behalf, a mishap on his behalf. Mm-hmm. Then the building 2 stories down or 2 buildings down decided to get some expensive internet. So they had to run lines from our church building to this next building. And so literally they had the cable company with ladders in Generations church building over the sound equipment. And literally I'm at church right now, so I go to the church every day. I spend the night at the church, and so I walk into the church building and I see these people, and I immediately called him. And so we had a lot of issues like that, because in my mind somebody
so he came into the church building and had
not the landlord. Well, I guess the landlord did, because he had to let them in the building in Generations. So
wow.
Yeah. So he let the cable company in, but failed to let me know that, someone's, coming and blah, 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 but so to say all that, so we went through a lot of challenges. And once I decided to, all right, I know I'm not going to fight you. I know I'm not going to cuss you. You're a difficult person, but this is a prime area for the church. So once I, decided to give him to the Lord, a few months after that, another building became available that he was the landlord of. And there was it's actually in the same vicinity. And he made us an awesome deal.
Wow.
On that. And from then, he's just been an awesome guy to work with.
Oh, whoa. Hold on. You're telling me that the person that initially caused you stress and frustration.
Oh, yes.
When you gave him over to the Lord and you did the right thing for him and towards him, and you was consistent in what your obligations to them, somehow or another, that made a difference. And he ended up not being an enemy. He actually, he partnered up with you to give you a better deal.
Yeah, he knows about my some of my family in Arkansas.
Wow.
Knows I'm from Arkansas. I know about his kids and all kinds of things.
How do you think that happened?
Honestly, it happened. I say number one, we was never late on the bill. So
You know,
so we
hold
were
on,
never late.
hold
We're
on,
never
bro.
late.
I thought you could say because I loved my enemy. You said no,
Uh,
we paid, we were never late on that
Number one, because had we been late, it's been a different story. He probably would have kicked us out or whatever. But no, that's one though. But really, it's just I talk about it a lot and preach a lot about it. It really, I was the walking Bible to him.
Wow.
Um, and also the other thing with it
He
is
knew he
that
was frustrating you. He knew the
yes,
frustration that
but
y'all
here's
had.
the thing though,
Mm-hmm.
he has other buildings around Tulsa. And so these other buildings, some of my friends who are pastors in Tulsa have dealt with him and know about how he is. And so I would vent to them, from time to time about, what he's doing, what he's not doing and things like that. And so, but literally by me not wavering, I mean, you can't waver. You got to, you got to be, I mean, right there on the straight line with it because, the difficult people, they're going to know. You know what I'm saying? They
Right.
they know, like you said, they know that they're frustrating you, but they know it, but they want to keep pressing you to see
Mm,
how far they can push you. And I
right.
just said to them, for me personally, I'm just never going to let someone push me to the point that I'm going to come out the pastoral role, and you should never want get to the point. You should want to just walk away first, honestly.
Right.
But
Right.
that's how you do it. You got to give them to the Lord, and you just got to exemplify what the Bible says because they're dissecting you, and I think that's what he was. In other words, he was sizing me up
Wow. That's
to see if
good.
I'm really of the
That's good.
cloth, like I say I'm really of the
That's good.
cloth.
That's good.
You know,
That's good.
because yeah, you have to.
So what we're talking about now is you're giving some practical ways of demonstrating your love and kindness towards people who are challenging to deal with.
Yeah.
Give us a couple other points, and I'm going to give us some points as well. But what's some other techniques or some other things that you have done to try to help make things better dealing with challenging people?
I just say honestly communication
Mm-hmm.
because if you say for instance on your job, even me right now, I have to communicate a lot just within my business. Um, at this point we're like hiring people, which is it blows my mind, but it's communication. These people need to know what day, that they're going to come, what time, all these things. And, in that of itself, it's dealing with different personalities and difficult people, but you have to communicate, even though you don't like this person, you still got to communicate. But the key is you communicate first. You
Mm,
communicate it first about whatever task it is, whatever it is, you communicate it first. That literally alleviates the anxiety out of your chest, that you
mm,
feel. It alleviates that stress because you go ahead and get it done. You know what I'm saying? It's like, once for some people, I know for me, once I check something off my task list every day, I'm literally
mm-hmm.
pumped up because, all right, I got and it gives me the motivation to do the next thing too.
Right.
And so you got to communicate it, even though it might
So
be painful.
to keep stability, and this goes into why, when I mentioned common grace, you have people that want to be employed. They need to know what time they need to come to work and stuff like that. And they have different personalities and attitudes. And
Hmm.
you're in a relationship with them
Literally.
as an employer employee. And there's some of them that you just probably don't rub you the right way. You don't like them, but you can tell that they can do the job.
Yes.
And so you to keep stability in your
That's
company and
it too.
move.
That's another thing. That's another bar. Just do the job. Just
Right.
just just do it.
Right.
It might be painful.
Right. And to keep stability and to keep your company moving forward, all of you have to get along.
Yes.
Until you and really the ones that lose the job are the ones that don't do the job and the ones that don't want to integrate into your employment community.
Yeah.
And so communicate. Anything else you want to put out there? So you communicate. You said communicate first. Anything else?
You've got to be the one to initiate it, especially when you know something that's coming up. When you know you
Now, what
got to
about
work with
somebody
this
might say
person.
that, hey, I'm an introvert. I'm kind of, I'm not that person. I'm not that, I'm not necessarily scared, but, I'm some people, when you know that they're difficult and stuff like that, they may feel like, maybe you shouldn't go approach them because you
Hmm.
don't know how that's going to go. What do you do with that?
Yeah, can I let y'all in on my personal life? I'm an introvert. I'm a
Wow.
big introvert. Um, people see all this preaching and singing and pictures, this and videos, this and that. I do that so my people can see, my daughter, and so that I can save souls with generations. But I'm naturally an introvert. But this
Mm-hmm.
is one of my biggest secrets. Um, this is honestly one of my biggest secrets. It is, you've got to really, and I'm gonna just say, you've got to really get your health in line as far as physically working out. And you ain't got to really just be throwing up weights. Honestly, for me, before we came on the podcast today, I did a walk. Just to clear your mind, you got to be in solitude. Honestly, that's what the walk, it is purpose for me because I'm walking by myself. I'm with myself. I'm with my thoughts, and I'm with the Lord. And
So you
so,
talking about in terms of courage, like you
yes.
working out, help build your courage up, clear your
Hmm.
mind, stuff like that.
Yeah, it literally clears your mind. And then it's physical, so your body is moving, and so anytime the body is moving, it's moving to a destination, and so that's what you got to have in your mind. I'm moving to the destination. I'm moving towards telling this person, communicating with this person, and that relieves your anxiety as well. But
Yeah.
that's my secret because it, it's no other way, and also praying as well on those walks or whatever. You don't got to walk for 45 minutes, but just if you got to walk to the parking lot and walk back, and be in your thoughts and be praying, Lord, give me the words to say. There's a song that says, give me the words, give me the voice when the enemy is at my table. In the midst of
Mm.
my trials, Lord, give me a song. And so you
Wow.
got to say, Lord, give me the words. I don't know the
Right.
words right now, and I don't even have the courage. If we could be honest, just Christian Men Unfiltered, many a times we don't have the courage, right? And so we've got to, you got to get all the tools that you can so that you can get the courage. And so,
Yeah, I can see that.
we need
So
that.
you do things to put your mind at ease. You have to. You can't be avoidant. You have to deal with people. You have to deal with tough situations, even though this person is very difficult. They're not necessarily your friend. But sometimes you got to deal with them. And one way to do that is, hey, work out, get your heart rate, moving, go for walks, clear your mind, have solitude with yourself, and think about what you need to say, what you want to say, how you're going to say it, and and when it's time for you to confront, do it in a loving way because you're a Christian, but you
Yes,
have sometimes it has to be said. I get that.
yes,
I
yes,
appreciate it. Now I can do that with my wife, so if there's an issue that I'm working out in my head, I talk to Kenyatta. I may be upset or angry or talking about, like really emotional and into it. She's like,
yes.
who are you talking about?
Mighty
Like, what are
God.
you talking about? You know? So she becomes my sparring buddy in the sense of I'm working out all the details. I'm working out, what I need to say and what I need to do. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Now one thing that I would say, you can follow up with me on this. Um, when when I'm trying to have practical ways to demonstrate my love and kindness towards a person who is challenging to deal with, one thing that I do is I don't engage in disagreements with them.
Yeah.
You have people who want to argue. They
Professional
want
arguers.
to debate.
Yes.
They're professional. And they're
PhD.
They are negative at the core. They're not looking for truth. They're looking for an argument.
Oh yes.
And so the one thing that I suggest is I don't engage in disagreements with people who are not trying to have a conversation. Mm-hmm. And you can pretty much tell there's a difference between somebody being interested and interesting.
Mighty God.
Some people are most people are interesting. They want you to say something to get it started so they can finish it.
Yes.
They're really not interested in what you have to. You ever spoke to somebody or they spoke to you and said like, "Hey DJ, how you doing?" And they keep walking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're not interested in the answer. They don't care about that.
They're trying to get to where they're trying to get to.
They're trying to get to where they're trying to get to, and they're trying not to be rude by being rude. They did not ask you a sincere question. Mm-hmm. So with people like that, I don't try to engage in disagreements with them. The other thing I do is I give them space. Got to. Some people, the best act of kindness that you can show them is give them their space. Yes. I don't go around people that I know that don't necessarily care for me. Oh, yeah. I'm not going to continue to call somebody that is not calling me or wanting to communicate with me, or, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to respect. I'm going to do my best to respect, the boundaries that is obviously being set with our relationship. For example, I know a person that is having a get together. Mm-hmm. All right. And
what kind of food they're going to have?
I don't know. They didn't tell me. Oh, I heard it from somebody else.
Lord.
I'm not mad. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad. But, when you're not invited, or maybe they forgot, maybe it's not my type of crowd, maybe they don't think I fit in. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to call them up or text them or say, "Hey man, I heard you having a party. Why you didn't invite me?" I'm telling you, I don't care. So I'm going to give you your space. Y'all go do that.
Right.
Y'all go do that. And the last thing I would say is, you got to understand, it's something that I had to realize, and my wife really, really helped me with this. Kenyatta, I love you for this, because this really helped me in a huge way. Sometimes you got to realize that this difficult person, they're being so difficult towards you, or you can't never seem to get that connection or get past whatever this is. A lot of times it ain't them. It's somebody else behind them.
Oh my.
You feel what I'm saying?
Oh yes.
Sometimes it's not them.
Oh yes.
It's the opinions of people who are around them. Mm-hmm. It is the words of people who are around them. Sometimes you got to understand people are juggling a lot. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And it may be best to keep you at bay.
Yes.
It may be best not to fool with you, because that keeps peace.
Yes. Yeah.
Come on, you sound like you got something you look like you got something you want to say. Come on, talk to me.
Hey, I'm bagging you up on the on the keyboards right now. Can I get a witness in here? No, but I mean, yeah, just what love is, it's patient. Just one of its definitions.
Wow, that's the key.
Patience. Mm-hmm. And I think of, when I think about patience, there's so many people that tell me I need to slow down. So many people tell me I need to go to sleep, because I'm as they have, serial killers. I'm a serial entrepreneur. So I don't know when to go
Wow.
to sleep, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, people tell me, you know, slow it down. You know, you got to pace yourself. You need some patience. In the slowing down, you know, I'm realizing more things about myself. I'm realizing how I can save energy, how I could, you know, communicate better with my loved ones because I've been just so, you know, busy, you know what I mean? But
Right.
literally in that patience, you know, dealing with a difficult person, because our natural reaction, I mean, I don't care who you is. You know what I'm saying? Pastor or not, deacon, elder, who, you know, I don't care. Let somebody say something to you the wrong way. Now you might not you know, you might not be a fighter, but you might cuss. You know what I'm saying? So you have to check yourself. You know what I'm saying? And so, but when you slow it down, because when you slow it down and when you're patient, you know, I mean, I'm just thinking about somebody right now. Just, you know, you getting, you know, you listening right now, and you know, listen, they talking good tonight because I got to get up in the morning and I got to go see so and so. I got to go talk to Mr. Johnson, you know, the supervisor, whoever it is. You know what I'm saying? It starts in the morning too. You just got to be, Lord, give me the patience. You know what I'm saying? Let me walk in love. Let me just walk in,
Mm-hmm.
Lord. Just when I walk in, just let them see the love. You know, let them see love on today. But
Yes.
that's all.
Please,
That's all I
Lord.
had. That's all I had.
Please, Lord.
That's
Because
all
I don't have any more days. I can't call in.
Right. Right.
You will use up all your days. You know there's people out there that use up all their days. You
Yes,
can't
Lord,
call
they
it no more.
will.
That goes into Romans chapter 12, verse 20, where the Bible says, to the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, feed him.
Yes.
If he is thirsty, give him something to drink. For by doing so, you will heap burning coals on his head.
Mighty.
Now, it was beautiful till you got to the end. But DJ, how can we maintain these healthy boundaries while still showing love to those who are difficulty? So we've established it. How do we maintain it?
You got to keep practicing it. I mean,
Because this person hasn't changed.
Yeah.
But you're in a relationship with this difficult person, and those difficulties keep popping up. But how do you maintain that relationship?
I mean, you got to say to yourself, I'm not changing my stance. You know, I'm not, because once you let go of that boundary, once you let something slide in and ease in or whatever, then that's when it's gonna, I mean, that you know, you give a kid, you know, an inch, they're gonna go the whole 100 yards. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
that's what, you know, these difficult people gonna do to you. So you got to, you know, you have to just set that boundary, but you can't you cannot waver on that boundary. And it's a struggle because these are the people that you love, but you gotta say, okay, I gotta love you from a distance. You know,
Wow.
we might be related, we might have been brought up together, we might went to school together, you know, we might have helped each other through, trying times in our lives or whatever, or vice versa, you know. But listen, like you got to do it because you're protecting your peace.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you can't there's no way that you can go through life dealing with difficult people if you don't have peace in your own life.
And with those types of people, I suggest keep it short and sweet with them.
I'm trying to tell you, short and
Keep it
sweet.
short and sweet with them. I made that mistake so many times trying to turn a joker into an ace.
Mighty God.
You know, and sometimes you got to realize that people are not for you and you have to work with them. You know, you can't hide from them, but keep it short and sweet. You know, stay positive, and don't open up yourself to tell them personal things that you don't want repeated.
Exactly. And then too, I mean, like these people that's difficult, they want, you got to set your boundary, because if you don't set this boundary, it's gonna mess up everything in your life.
Mm.
You're not gonna be at work, focus at work. You're gonna bring those issues to work, or if it's a work issue, you're gonna bring it home. Your kids gonna hear about it. You're gonna be on the phone with whomever, talking about this issue or whatever. So, I mean, you just
And
got to.
we're not saying like, some people come to work with an agenda. They
Yes.
come thinking, and we're not just talking about work, wherever it is. Like, I'm not here to make friends.
Yeah, I know a few of them. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's so silly. You know what I mean? These are the people that you're going to be around most of the day.
Most of the day,
So
every week,
you can love your enemy without not being I mean, I try to rhyme there without not being friendly. I don't think it was going to make sense. But you can be cordial with people and enjoy the moment, enjoy the day.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to put your trust in them or like them to enjoy working around them, or
Right.
there's some, I know people, they come to me and they pretend that they like you and stuff like that, but that they don't. But I don't make them, my goal is not to make them feel like I don't like them.
Yeah.
I don't deal with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going anywhere with you so that you can see it for yourself.
Yo, so I like what you said about keeping it short and sweet, because
Right.
if you don't keep it short and sweet, your feelings might get hurt.
Yeah, you're right.
Because if you keep, lingering around that person that you're trying to, you said you was gonna keep it short and sweet with, after a while, that old self, it might seem like, they have changed, but after a while, because you let that boundary go, then that old self, because they're gonna come back to the same exact person that they were before.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
If they haven't made a true change.
You're right. And when you're around them, listen more than you talk.
My God.
When you're around them, listen more than you talk. Don't keep talking. Now, DJ, one thing, I've been knowing you for years, man. I've known you before you got out of high school.
Yeah.
Right. And one thing I have always admired about you, when you're around people, I've always noticed something. You listen.
Oh yeah. Halfway because I can't hear. But yeah. I have to read their lips, so
Oh my gosh. But because I was the person too, being I'm a very extrovert. I'm really an introvert at heart, but I turn on that extrovert. I'm more comfortable being by myself than I am mingling with other people, because most people don't really want to know about you. Most people want to know what you do.
Oh yeah, that's all they want to know.
You know what I'm saying? They want to know, why should I invest in this relationship? If you say that you're the mayor of some town, you have a purpose to be around them.
Yeah.
But people treat you funny when it's just when there's nothing else about you than you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So what I would say is, know where you stand with people, and don't give advice to those people who don't respect you as a person who can give them advice. And I know the people that don't respect me that way, because they always giving me advice, and they never leave room for you to give them advice.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that tells me that you don't respect me as a person. You don't see me as a person who can teach you. You don't see me as a person who can groom you or guide you or uplift you. You don't see me as that person. And that's okay. That's okay. All of us are like that with somebody, but don't take it personal. Remember, this person is not your friend. This is a person who actively they're not working towards your betterment or towards your good.
Right.
They see themselves, different than you, and you can't advise them. They're not going to call you and ask for advice, and so
Yeah.
don't seek to be that person giving someone advice to, if that they don't respect you as a person who can do that.
For
Be
sure.
real with yourself. That'll
For
save
sure.
you a lot of headache and struggle. What you think about that,
And
DJ?
some money too.
What you mean? What you mean by that?
No, so like, I be in the streets. I be on the social media streets.
Mm-hmm.
I see things going on. One of those younger pastors, and so I'm still kind of dissecting this phrase that's on the airways. But it says, I think they say, "Go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated."
Oh my God! Hold on.
You can't be going places you're not tolerated, expecting for them to celebrate you, because it's just not going to happen.
I like that. I like go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. I
For
like
real.
that. Final question. How can our faith help us navigate difficult relationships? And here's the key: find peace. Sum up what you've been basically trying to say, and how can we find peace, man? And in our faith, that even though this person is not changing, they're very difficult to us, but I need to know that I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah,
And whether or not this change or not, I got to do the right thing. Go ahead.
Like when you look at faith, breaking it down from scriptures, substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So it's something that we have never seen before, because these people, if you got some real difficult people, you're gonna say, Lord, I don't know how this person gonna change, but it's the same way that we have faith and we hope for things, for God to come through for us, in our personal lives and any other area. That same faith that we have to exemplify, when it comes to these difficult people, because you might say, pray that prayer, Lord, give me the words right now, but you might not get it right then at that day. But you still,
That's
as
good.
we've been talking about our principles and our steps, as far as dealing with difficult people, just still be patient, but then wait on him to reveal to you some things to say, and then he's working on that other person too. Because come on now, God don't like ugly. That's what my daddy always used to tell me. God don't like ugly, and so because they're being nasty towards you, towards a child of God, you got to understand that He don't like it, and sooner or later, things gonna turn around. But you got to wait for that turnaround. But that's where our faith lies, because and truly, after a while, that difficult person, if you on, after a while, there's a great percentage for them to make the turnaround. You know what I'm saying? By you doing the steps, by you setting the boundaries, because it's gonna alert them. Pastor ain't really called me like that. Robert ain't really, just pulled up on me like he normally is, because it's space that's given. And so when you do that, you're making room, for you to have that peace. But it starts with the faith. It starts with the faith. Because if you have faith to apply for the job, amen, somebody, then you got to have faith that he's gonna sustain you, because a lot of people just look at the money, oh, Lord, I just need this job. And then, dealing with relationships, spouses, Lord, I just want to find me a good woman, Father God, but the good woman gonna come with some issues just as much as we come with issues.
Right.
And so we got to know that that's how it's going to be, but literally our faith is going to help us, sustain it. And not only that, you got to look it back on the things that he brought you out of. Once you reminisce on the things that he brought you out of, it should increase your faith. So it's bringing those things to remembrance.
Amen. I would say that the peace comes from ultimately what you know that you're doing.
Yeah.
I am bringing societal stability. I am being amicable.
Yeah.
I am getting along. I am not the person to fear here.
Mm-hmm.
I am not the person that you have to defend yourself from. I am not the threat. Okay? That's not coming from me. I am open for your change.
Yes.
I'm open. So I like to be the kind of person that understands the bigger goal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be fired. I want to be able to go to the picnic and you not feel threatened by me. I want to be able to go to church and you don't have to worry about, somebody actively trying to put your business out there or give you a bad name. That's not going to come from me, because I fundamentally believe that doing right or finding stability wherever I am, that is the greater good.
Yeah.
I get peace to know that if me and you are into it, it ain't because of me. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If you owe me money
Mighty.
and you don't call me,
mighty,
that's on you. That ain't because of me. Have the wisdom to know the situation you can't change. If I go into a situation and it's out of control and I don't really know what the outcome is going to be, get your stuff and leave.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go into a situation and you could cut the tension in the air, and it happened when I walked in. I've been in those situations.
Oh yes, I've been in many a
hey, you hug who you can hug, you shake whoever hand you can shake, and say, I'm gonna leave.
Yes,
I'm gonna leave. God gives you common sense, just like we are supposed to give people common grace.
Yes,
you got to have common sense with the common grace.
Yeah.
DJ, any final concluding
I always
remarks?
got one. I was born ready and I was born with a closing remark.
Come on now.
The closing remark is there is a song, and the song says, the Jesus in me loves the Jesus in you. You're easy to love. Sometimes you just got to fake it until you make it. If you can't find no way to love the difficult person, just say, well, the Jesus in me is loving the Jesus in you.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I see that. I would say, remember you're a Christian. And this is the hardest job you ever going to have.
I promise you.
You're never going to get it right, but you can know that you're doing the right thing. And the right thing is trying to find that place where you can just get along with someone, and have the wisdom to know when you need to hold them and when you need to fold them, and when you need to run.
Oh yes.
Because sometimes you got to run, brother.
You got to.
Hey, we thank y'all for tuning in. Hey, like, subscribe, follow us, listen to our old podcast episode. We have one more that we did, and just continue to tune in, and follow us. This is Christian Men Unfiltered. I am Robert.
And I'm Pastor Moore. Listen, I don't know when it's going to air, but listen, Father's Day is right around the bend. I just want to say happy Father's Day to all the dads out there that are striving, that's putting forth that effort with their children. Listen, kudos to you. Happy Father's Day.
Real struggles, real faith, real men. Wow.